Hey, this is Polar B. I wanted to talk about a couple things. Good Lord, I look terrible. I'm tired. I need some toothpicks to brighten up my eyes, don't I? Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about spirituality. It's one of the things that was probably the hardest for me in my recovery and healing process, is connecting with my spirituality. And before I go any further, I probably should say that this might trigger somebody, because I'm going to talk about a little bit about, not in depth or anything about my ritual abuse, but just how that it affected my spirituality. So I just wanted to give that warning, heads up, just in case. I know many of you are ritual abuse survivors as well, so I always like to give that warning. So anyway, back to what I was talking about is my spirituality was probably one of the hardest things that I was able to connect with and heal. When I was young and in all the different foster homes and different families and homes that I lived in, foster care, cousins and all that stuff, they all went to different churches and stuff, so I was exposed to a lot of different churches and religions. Let me make it clear, abundantly clear, that spirituality is not religion. They're two completely different things. I always like to say religion is for people who are afraid to go to hell, and spirituality is for people who have already been. And I think that that's true, actually. People that connect with their spirituality sometimes have went through major things in order to connect with that spiritual side of their self, and that spiritual connection of great creator, or whatever you call it, higher power. Because my ritual abuse happened in a church, and it was satanic ritual abuse, everything got completely twisted around. Everything that was good was bad. Everything that was bad was good. Everything was twisted completely, turned upside down. So the people that were in the church, and there were quite a few members actually that abused me that were part of this cult in this church, they damaged my spirituality, or my spiritual self, pretty much. I would say that it was pretty much all the way broken. I didn't want any part of that, any part of a church, any part of religion. This also toppled with being gay in churches. That doesn't mix very well. By the time that I went to live with my grandmother, from the time that I was 8 until I was 15 when she died, I knew at a young age that I was gay and that it was not accepted in churches. They condemn it rather abundantly and openly. In fact, I was always brought up to believe that because I was gay that I was an abomination to God, which is totally bullshit, lies. Actually, the reason that it's bull crap is because God, the Creator, made me, and I honestly believe and know within my heart that I was born gay, because I knew that I was gay at a very early age. A child of 5 and 6 and 7 years old doesn't make a sexual choice for themselves at that age and I knew that I was different than the other kids that were basically straight. As I grew up, that became abundantly clearer to me. But I'm getting off track a little bit. Anyway, by the time that I got in my 20s and I started in my healing process, I wanted nothing to do with churches. I wanted nothing whatsoever to do with religions. I mean, I had already been criticized for being who I was. I didn't personally have some bad experiences with the being gay in a church, but I witnessed quite a few things where there were other members that were gay, and they came out in church and basically were told to hit the road. That's a real loving concept of God, isn't it? To me, if God and Jesus did not, if they wanted to be around the lepers and all the people, all the unwantables in the world, those are who they're drawn to be around, because they want them, God wants them to know that they're loved just as much as everyone else in the world. There is no discrimination that God gives. I'm a little unfocused today. I had everything that I wanted to say, and I'm scattered all over. Anyway, when I got into my healing journey and everything, I knew that there was something that was missing, and I kind of struggled to find what that was. Throughout my healing journey, one of the things that actually felt really good to me when I thought about nurturing myself, and when I was having a hard time excuse me, when I was having a hard time dealing with things and going through some of my memories and just doing the hard gut level work, was I would do a lot of meditation, things that are good for my soul. Meditation, sitting in nature, listening to environmental music, those types of things. And that really, really felt good. It felt safe to me. Even when I was 5 and 6 years old, I can remember climbing up in trees, and when I lived with one of my aunts, and she would come in the backyard and be looking for me all over the place, and I would be quiet as a little mouse up in the tree and just sit there for hours, and I didn't want to come down because I enjoyed being in the tree and out in nature so much. And I always felt that connection to nature. Anyway, when I was up in the tree, I would hear the leaves rustling, and see the sunlight through the trees, and hear the birds singing, watch the birds as they landed on branches around me, and it was actually very, very comforting, and I really noticed that when I was a kid. And then later, as I grew a little bit older and into my preteens and teenage years, I would actually go in the woods as an escape. That was my safety spot, safety area. My dad would come over to my grandmother's house, and as soon as I saw him pulled up, I would head out the back door, and I would take off down the road, and there were some woods there, and I would go and sit in the woods. That was my safety area. I would